Thursday night, 8 p.m. hits like a hammer on steel. Rumble lights up, we're loading the wheel. Bottle laid open, screens burning red. Me and my man cutting through the dread.
Head to truthmedia.com, grab that raw feed. No corporate chains,
just truth, plant the seed.
I'm the shadow hunter, she's the warrior flame. Tracing justice, live, torching the game. Shadow lights explode when the clock strikes 8, and arms riding hard, crashing through the gate. Drops turn to fire, darks tear the veil. Truth or media blood, we never will fail. Tracing justice, running hard and true. Thursday 8 on Rumble, me and you. Husband and wife forged in the fight, digging graves for lies on the freedom's light. Great awakening roaring, feel that rebel fire. Truthmedia.com, taking it higher. Lock it in, brothers and sisters. Faith like iron, no surrender, no rust. Rumble's our highway, in truth we trust. From morning to cold to the midnight ride, tracing justice forever, no place to hide.
Dawn and justice mornings, Thursday night thunder. Rumble at 8, tear the veil asunder. 2026 burning, this love runs deep. Men and wife standing, no
All right, guys, I am here. I don't know what happened. It seems like every time that I go live lately, something screws up. So I don't know what happened. I went live, and then all of a sudden, my internet just go boop, it just dropped. So, but now we're back up, and I'm still getting set up, guys, because I just got home from dropping off the grandbabies, and I'm trying to get all my chats in order and everything like that. So just bear with me just 1 second, because I was doing some looking at Trump's True Social earlier, and we got a lot going on. So we're gonna dig into that. Give me just 1 second, guys. Let's see here. Okay. All right, guys, let's get started. Let's get this party started. Everybody hear me? 5-5. We good now? Got my pen, got my paper. We're going to do a little bit of decoding. I can see. Mary Cullum says, good deal. Gamey Love says, praying for the babies. Yeah, Karen said, if it can be fixed, you can do it. Well, I was looking down at my screen, and, it's got the internet indicator down there, and it said, yeah, Tina Peters is about to be freed. Monica on YouTube says on 6/1. So we definitely are heating up right now. But I was looking at my computer, and I was like, well, the internet says that it's okay. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden I got the little red, circle with the slash through it, and it was blinking. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I think we're good now. Let's see here. Oh man, my YouTube chat is not wanting to pop up, so give me just 1 second, guys. Like I said, I'm just doing this off the cuff, just from what I'm seeing. So if you're watching me over there on Pilled, I'm looking at your chat on my phone because my computer does not like Pilled.net for whatever reason. So every time I have it up on my computer desktop, bad things happen. Let's see here. There we go. And guys, there's a lot of work to do in these live streams. I don't know if you realize that or not. There's a lot of stuff you got to do. So Messi says over there in YouTube says, everyone having a great Saturday. Yeah, I am. Tracy's not having such a good day. She's got some stuff going on. Won't get into it, but I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to rock and roll, guys. I was like, we were in our back channels and stuff, and they were talking about this and this and this, and I'm like, guys, you might want to go check out Trump True Social right now. Something's going on. Okay. Man, I really hate it when POTUS calls out Laura Loomer. I really don't like that bish. I really don't, guys. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. And we'll go ahead and start digging through some True Social posts, and let's see what the heck is going on. All right, so guys, I think for this one, I'm going to take the chat off the screen so I can show you the whole screen. Let's see here. Let me do that. And the happening place to be right now is Rumble. Okay. My Xers over there, they're already chatting. But if you like to keep me up on the big screen and be in a chat, I suggest you be in my Rumble chat. I do enjoy it when you guys watch me on YouTube as well. Whoops. Let's go ahead and make this full screen right here. There we go. All right, so we're going to do some digging here. And let's go back. Let's roll the clock back just a little bit on Trump's True Social feed. And we're going to do some digging. And remember, when I'm going through these timestamps and everything, and my stuff displays in Central. So if you're like, no, Justice, that says blah, 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 blah. Well, I have to add an hour to it. So, all right. My gosh, he's been going off. See, that's the big one right there, the calm before the storm. Space Force. Let's see here. Let's keep on trucking, guys. That was a big one right there 4 hours ago. And we're going to go down here 4 hours. Man, he is going off right now. All right, I think Looks like OG Dr. C got a call out. That's cool. The Skiff got another call out. All right, so I'm going to scroll back up to the 4 hour ago mark because I've only got an hour, guys, because, this is usually my family time. But I was like, I think I need to go. Okay. So let's check this one out. Our pool is bigger than skyscrapers. I tell you what, I wish my phone would stay woke up on the pilled chat. So give me just 1 second. Okay. The reflection pool between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, approximately 2,030 feet versus the tallest buildings in the USA. Obama and Biden spent more than $100 million trying to fix it. The estimated cost of their fix-up was $355 million. So we've got some columns going on there. So we'll take a look at that. So we're going to write down 2030 and we're going to write down 355. Okay. I am in construction now and have decided to go into a much higher level of repair using industrial strength materials, which would give a longer life and a better look. The price will be a small fraction of the money they used unsuccessfully to fix it. In fact, they made it worse. The goal is to have it done at the higher level prior to July 4th. We're ahead of schedule. President Donald J. Trump. And there's like a lot of stuff right here. So there's 1451, 1454, and 1776. Hey guys, I'm not going to be going through the chats and stuff like that, doing call outs and stuff because, I've only got an hour and we need to dig. So, and we've got a timestamp of 1255 on there. So timestamp is 1255. All right. So we're going to start looking through this one right here. So off to QAG we go. So we're going to go, I'm going to look up that 2030 real quick. Okay, post 2030. The only thing that I'm getting off of this one is every battle is won before it's even fought. Are you awake? Q. So let's look at the mirror to 2030, and that would be 0302. Okay. Oh, wow. So the mirror to that is 4 green. Let me increase my screen size here so everybody can see. So the mirror to that is 4 green, Q, end. That might be relevant as we start going through these. So 302 is the 4 green, and I'm writing down. All right. So let's go through post 355 because if you remember, right here it said $355 million right there. Okay, so let's take a look at post 355. Gosh, what was that post? I can't even remember. Fake Q. Don't worry about the stream ban. It's part of my plan. Share this. I don't see any relevance in that one. So we're going to go to 553, the mirror on that. Because the reason I'm looking at mirrors on this is he's talking about the reflecting pool. Okay. He's talking about the huge reflecting pool. So that's why I'm looking at mirrors on this one, guys. I'm sorry. I should have said that to begin with. So post 553 is the mirror of 355. The tell, how can we listen, track, and monitor American citizens' bad actors? We hear you, we see you. What must we legally demonstrate in order to gain such warrants? FISA. Do we trust the FISA judges? Military intel, state secrets. Why is this relevant? Who can we trust? Expand your thinking. Q. So, the answer to those questions is simply that in order to be able to spy on our own citizens through the FISA court, we have to display some type of treasonous activities, some kind of criminal activities in information that we already have so that we can continue to monitor further. Okay, so that one is kind of interesting. So let's go back. So we're back here. So we already looked up the 2030, okay, and the mirror was 302, and that was for green. Okay, you see the 1451 right there on the Sears Tower. So let's go back to QAG and go 1451. Okay, so Q post 1451 is, does Kim look nervous prior to the big meeting with POTUS? Did they already meet long ago? Is he preparing at his hotel with his advisor ahead of time? Or is he out enjoying freedom that he never had in the past? Deal done, safe, on guard. POTUS moves up departure. Why? The world is safer. Iran developments. Iran developments. Yeah, post Freedom Fire, post 355 is a fake out calm. So post 1451 refers to Iran developments. All right. So the mirror would be 1541. So let's look up 1541. To Devin Nunes post, and Q is quoting it off post 1540. Devin Nunes says, "Can anyone tell me who the DOJ lawyer is that speaks French via text in the IG report? This will save a lot of time in hearings this week, so my colleagues won't have to ask the question." JC. James Comey. See, but this is interesting too. In post, he's talking about right here, he's talking about James Comey. Okay. Says, see next, eggshells. But look, shells, James Comey. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. So that was the mirror. So let's go back to the post. And let's look at 1454. Here's some more Iran comms. EU sanctions Iran. Leaders of EU only care about protecting the flow of money, not the safety and security of the people/world. Iran deal orchestrated for the sole purpose of lifting sanctions blockade. Okay, I want you to note something, okay? So I want you to note this word blockade because I've seen it come to many times today, and we are still in the middle of a blockade. Okay, so take note of that. Iran deal orchestrated for the sole purpose of lifting sanctions blockade to allow access of foreign businesses for the individual and co-wide enrichment. Scam. Nothing to do with nukes. Cover. Hussein pallets of cash. We've been talking a lot about that lately, about all this cash going over to Iran. Hussein secret authorization to convert USD. More coming. No MSM. Got popcorn. Q. So 45, 41. Okay, the mirror to 45, 41, or I'm sorry, 1454 is 45, 41. Interesting. Okay, so we've got something going on right here. This is biblical. June 7th, 2020. We're approaching June, people. June 7th is right around the corner. Holy Trinity Sunday, Mr. President. In recent months, we have been witnessing the formation of two opposing sides that I would call biblical. The children of light. Okay, I want you to remember something. When POTUS was over in China, what was he hammering home about? What did we see images of? Yeah, Spam Eat Tomorrow was biblical too. Absolutely, it is. So, what did we see while he was over there? What was always usually in the background? What was he talking about a lot? He was talking about the children. And he was talking about what the children represent. Okay, so take note of that. Okay. The children of the light constitute the most conspicuous part of humanity, while the children of darkness represent an absolute minority. And yet the former are the object of a sort of discrimination which places them in a situation of moral inferiority with respect to the adversaries who often hold strategic positions in the government, in politics, and the economy, and the media. In an apparently inexplicable way, the good are held hostage by the wicked and by those who help either out of self-interest or fearfulness. These two sides, which have a biblical nature, follow the clear separation between the offspring of the women and the offspring of the serpent. On one hand, there are those who, although they have they have 1,000 defects and weaknesses, are motivated by the desire to do good, to be honest, to raise a family, engage in work, and to give prosperity to the homeland, to help the needy, in the obedience to the law of God, to merit the kingdom of heaven. On the other hand, there are those who serve themselves, those who do not hold any moral principles, those who want to demolish the family and the nation, exploit workers to make themselves unduly wealthy, foment internal divisions and wars, and accumulate power and money. For them, this is a fallacious illusion of a temporal well-being will one day, if they do not repent, yield to the terrible fate that awaits them far from God in eternal damnation. We will also discover that in the riots in these days were provoked by those who, seeing that the virus is inevitably fading and that the social alarm of the pandemic is waning, necessarily to have had to provoke civil disturbances because they would be followed by repression, which, although legitimate, could be condemned as an unjustified aggression against the population. The same thing is also happening in Europe in perfect synchrony. It's quite clear that the use of the street protest is instrumental to the purpose of those who would like to see someone elected in the upcoming presidential elections who embodies the goal of the deep state and who expresses these goals faithfully and with conviction. It will not be surprising if, in a few months, we learn once again that the hidden behind these acts of vandalism and violence are those who... Now, I want to stop real quick. I've already been kind of skipping ahead. I kind of know what's coming down the pike, okay? So when you're looking at this column, it's talking about riots. It's talking about uprisings in the streets, okay? I want you to remember that, okay? Put that back in your brain as we go forward, okay? So we learn once again that hidden behind these acts of vandalism and violence are those who hope to profit from the dissolution of the social order so as to build a world without freedom. Solve et congogula, I think that's how you pronounce that, as the Masonic adage teaches. Interesting, because Freedom Fire has really been hammering away at the Masonics, and so is Curtius Maximus. Although it may seem disconcerting, the opposing alignments I have described are also found in religious circles. There are faithful shepherds who care for the flock of Christ, but then there are those... I'm sorry, guys. I need to give me some drink. But there are those mercenary infidels who seek to scatter the flock and hand the sheep over to be devoured by ravenous wolves. It is not surprising that these mercenaries are allies of the children of darkness and hate the children of light. Just as there is a deep state, there is also a deep church that betrays its duties and forswears its proper commitments before God. Thus, the invisible enemy, Trump's been talking about the invisible enemy lately. Thus, the invisible enemy, whom good rulers fight against in the public affairs, is also fought against by good shepherds in the ecclesiastical sphere. It is a spiritual battle which I spoke about in my recent appeal, which was published on May 8th. In society, Mr. President, these two opposing realities coexist as eternal enemies, just as God and Satan are eternal enemies. And it appears that the children of darkness, whom we may easily identify with the deep state, which you wisely oppose, and which is fiercely waging war against you these days, have decided to show their cards, so to speak. Remember, Trump got my meme about cards, okay? They have decided to show their cards, so to speak, by now revealing their plans. They seem to be so certain of already having everything under control that they have laid aside that the circumspection that until now had at least partially concealed their true intentions. The investigations already underway will reveal the true responsibility of those who managed the COVID emergency. We've been talking about Fauci a lot, haven't we, lately, ladies and gentlemen? Who managed the COVID emergency not only in the area of healthcare, but also in politics, the economy, and the media. We will probably find that in this colossal operation of social engineering, that there are people who have decided the fate of humanity, arrogating to themselves the right to act against the will of the citizens and the representations of the government of nations. And there's a blank right there. So again, that was post 4541, which was the mirror of 1454. And the reason that we're looking at mirrors, I don't look at mirrors unless I actually see something to point toward mirrors. The reason we're looking at mirrors is because we're talking about the reflecting pool. Okay? You always have to kind of look for those little nuggets and comms in there. All right, so we're going to move on to 1776. There is no mirror in 1776. So let's just look at 1776 real quick. All right, here we go. Post 1776 is the pen and the number sign 1776. Q says, without the pen of the author of the Common Sense, the sword of Washington would have been raised in vain. John Adams, Q. All right, so the timestamp on this post was 12:55. Let me double check that. So, yeah, we got 11:55, so we have to add an hour for my time. So that's 12:55. So let's go look at post 12:55. Did I hit the right one? Yep, 12:55. And Anon asks, Q, is Marcon a true ally to POTUS? And then Q follows up and says his sole purpose, White House visit, is to convince POTUS on behalf of the EU to remain in the Iran deal. There's more Iran comms in this whole one post that Donald Trump put out. Something is going on in Iran. I think we're going to see some movement in Iran. But he says his sole purpose, White House visit, is to convince POTUS on behalf of the EU to remain in the Iran deal. You decide, Q. All right. We're going to move on to another True Social post, okay? My gosh, he is on a posting spree. See where I ended at. Okay, so there's where we ended. So let's go up to here. It says what they underlined do and then what we do. Okay, so you see the reflecting pool, and let me just pull this picture up real quick. So whatever it is, we're going to look at the mirrors on these two because we're looking at the reflecting pool, okay? So you can see right there, what the left does, what they do. And this is what we do, all right? So the post is timestamp of, it's the same thing, 12:55, guys. So he double tapped on that. So remember that post 12:55 was Iran, talking about EU and Macron and Iran. Okay, so there is no mirror to 12:55. Okay, and the military timestamp is actually 12:55. So if it was like 1:55, we would also look at 13:55, which is the actual military timestamp. So let's keep going. Okay, this has got a little bit different timestamp. So Donald Trump says the old broken slate floor of the walkway going to the Oval Office from the White House. The new granite floor replacing the old slate going to the Oval, President Donald J. Trump. You can see right there, it's also reflecting too, okay? And you can see the prior presidents, how it's kind of fallen apart there. So the timestamp is 12:58 Eastern. We're also going to look at the keyword reflecting or reflect, and we'll see what we come up with, okay? So 12:58. Oh, this is lovely. Q post 12:58. And Anon says, when will we have the Moab? And then Q responds, should we tell all the good people watching the day and time? Red carpet rollout. Do you remember what they had rolled out over in China for POTUS? A huge red carpet. Think logically. The world is watching you. So we're gonna hit reflecting. There's one drop with reflecting in it. It's 3 flags out. He posts 4010. All right, here we go. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, in accordance with Public Law 87-20, as amended by, do hereby proclaim May 1st, 2020 as Law Day, USA. I urge all Americans, including government officials, to observe this day by reflecting upon the importance of the rule of law in the nations and displaying the flag of the United States in support of this national observance. And I especially urge the legal profession, the press, and the radio, television, and the media industries to promote and to participate in observance of this day. Q. So let's look up reflect. There's 13 drops that say reflect. I'm just going to quickly go through these to see if I see anything that's kind of relevant. Okay, I do want to go over this post 4543. Okay, and you remember real quick, I'm just going to switch my screen up here. Do you remember? All of Truther Media has always been hammering to you guys. Loyalty to POTUS is key. It is key. Because we operate off 20% of the information that's available. We're trying to piece stuff together, guys. We don't know his actions. We don't know his actions, okay? So we have to stay loyal. When he goes and invades Iran, we have to trust that he knows exactly what he's doing, and there's a reason that he's doing it. And it usually always comes this aha, oh, I see why he did that now. Why does Trump say, don't be a panicking? All right. Let's just bring the chat back up. Let's just do it this way, because I doubt you guys can even read this anyway. So, so 4543, loyalist critical. A counterattack to the first, Law and Order. Remember what we just read about Law and Order in May, okay? Strike prepared and ready in an effort to change the narrative, prevent blind mass public awareness, or a coordinated effort to remove sitting U.S. POTUS, corruptly disrupt COC, Commander-in-Chief, regional comms as needed. Media plans to disregard RE label as political attack AG election interference and inject script. Some commanding officers, EOs, may provide classification 1 through 99 that may not reflect those of the 1 through 99 of POTUS and or AG of the United States. Okay, let me back up just a second. And let me explain that real quick. So what POTUS just said is, okay, so we've got kind of two declassifications going on right now as we speak, okay? We've got all this like hoopla, you know, about the aliens and all of that stuff, and everybody wants to talk about that, and our government officials want to talk about blah, 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 blah. Okay, all that stuff. But if you look at the administration, what they're putting out to you is the real declassification that's going on. And they're trying to distract you with all this talk. Just today, people, there's been this former CIA operative. Former, okay? That means that he's probably from the Biden administration or the Obama administration or whatever, saying, oh, guess what, guys? There's 4 kinds of different species of aliens. Always look at your sources, people. Former CIA. We know what the CIA did to President Trump. Why are you going to trust a former CIA person about what they're saying that brings absolutely no sauce to what he's saying? Something is happening. They're pulling out the alien card right now on us to distract, I believe, from what is fixing to hit the airwaves coming. Appropriate action should be taken. Remember, this is why I preach this, guys. Remember your oath. Remember your mission. Infiltration and not invasion. Defend and protect at all cost. Q. And guys, I know I have said this ad nauseum, but there's a reason that Q hammers the mission over and over and over and over. Use relevant D-class information, classification 1 through 99, to help awaken the general public. Not all these senators and everything out there providing their own D-class of information. Pay attention to what POTUS and this administration is telling you. Use relevant facts. Not everything is a movie and this person is wearing a mask and all this other garbage that these anons have built their brands on, because I'm telling you guys, they don't have a fucking clue what's going on. They just want to say, oh, God, did you see that 17 over there? Oh, it must be part of the movie. It's not what this is about, guys. Okay, let's continue on. Q even says on 3234, reflections are important. Q. And it says, find the reflection inside the castle. I would have to go back through my notes on that one, guys. That happened so long ago. I'm sure we did a dig on it at some point. I'm just kind of going through here to see if I see anything else relevant. I mean, here's post 1886, and this is a Corinthians 13 through 4 through 13. But it says, "For now we only see a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part that I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." Corinthians 13, 4 through 13. And guys, what are we fixing to go through tomorrow in Washington, D.C.? Let me read this. "Finally, be strong in the Lord, in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, and against the powers of this dark world, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take up the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, your only weapon. And pray in the Spirit of all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert." And I want you to remember that. Be alert and always keep on praying for the saints. Ephesians 6, 10 through 18. Okay, also, I'm going to come to this one later because I kind of know what's coming down the pike. So with all these double taps that I'm doing, it's telling me I'm on the right track. Okay. So post 1953, okay? It's talking about Iron Eagle right here, okay? This is the Nazi symbol with the falcon, over it. It says double meanings exist. Q. I had to put an anon in its place today because I was talking about my Kevin Warsh drop, and he was like, "Oh, if you were really there during the drops, you would have known this was about Kevin Cork that was on Fox." And I'm like, dude, I know that. I was there. I probably just whatever, dude. But Q also says double meanings exist. Stay local, US. Global equals the reflection of local. Think mirror. Know your enemy. Every battle is won before it's fought. Remember that one because that's coming up too. Knowledge is power. Q. All right. So we're going back to True Social. We're moving on. Okay. So look right here, guys, in this picture. A great honor to be with the leader who is respected by all. President Donald J. Trump. What are they walking on, people? What did we just talk about? The red carpet. So let's go back to QAG. Let's put in red carpet and see what pops up. And let's see here real quick, just to go back. All right, this is a 100. This is a 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time timestamp. So post 100. Okay. I'm not going to look at the reflection in that, okay, because it's not cueing me to look at any kind of mirror or anything like this in this post, okay? I try to stay relevant to what the comms are and not to just pull stuff out of my butt and say, "Oh, look at this." I kind of try to. I have a method of what I do. All right. So let's go back to QAG. We're going to go all the way up. Red carpet. There's 4 posts. Q post 2190 is Trump raising his right hand. Q, you were right all along. Emmy's red carpet keck. Where we go one, we go all. Anon's picked up the carpet bombs for you and you alone. Fight, fight, fight. Q. He did that in Butler. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to share my screen here. There we go. So you can see right here, Trump holding up his fist. Remember that at Butler? Okay. There's a reason that he did that. I'm not saying it was staged, but Trump knows the drops better than all of us. He knows exactly what to do in certain things. Anon's picked up the carpet bombs for you and you alone. Fight, fight, fight. Remember he said that. Fight, fight, fight. In Butler. Q. All right, so 4:30 or post 1304, it says Emmy Awards red carpet event Q. Okay. Now remember, we've already went through this one on post 1258. That was that timestamp of that post a couple of posts back by Trump. It says, when will we have the Moab? And it says, should we tell the good people watching the time and the day? Red carpet rollout. Think logically. The world is watching. All right, so let's look at post 100 because post 100 is the timestamp. And it's a very, very relevant post. There's a lot of information in this post. Here we're talking about the Queen of England. I've went over this post so many times, guys. Who is the Queen of England? How long in power? With power comes corruption. What happened to Diana? What did she find out? Why was she running? Who did she entrust to help her flee? What was the cover? Why is this relevant? Why now? Old. Connection. News. Bad actor. London mayor. Background. Affiliation. Connection to Queen. British MI6 agents dead. When? How? What was reported? What really happened? Why is this relevant? Wealth. Corruption. Secret society. Evil. Germany. Merkel. Migrants. Why are migrants important? Assets. What have I always told you, people, about why we had to get all these illegals out of our country? Because they're assets. We got to get them out before we start rounding up people and making arrests. Okay? Why are migrants so important? What are assets? Why are migrants so important? What are assets? I didn't repeat that. It was listed twice. Okay? And it asked one more time, why are migrants so important? Operations, Satan. What have we been talking about in these drops? Who follows? Remember the 2 classes, the children of light, the children of dark. Okay? What political leaders worship Satan? What does an upside-down cross represent? Who wears it openly? I won't tell you who. Chelsea Clinton wore it openly. We found that back in the day. Why? Who is she connected to? Why is this relevant? Spirit cooking. Do you know who the king of spirit cooking is? John Podesta. Who was put into the spotlight recently back up in Canada? John Podesta. Pictured with whom? George Soros. What does spirit cooking represent? Cult. What is a cult? Who is worshipped? Why is this relevant? Snow White, Godfather 3, Speed, Q. We've had some speed comms about a couple of weeks ago. Remember the motorcycle kind of just going full throttle, through all the rest of them? Do you remember that comm? because all these comms are building off each other, guys. You can't just like forget it and put it in file 13 and just go, oh, we're going on to the next one. They build off one another. Tracy, I just saw your text message. I am so glad. I am so glad. So good. Let's see here. So let's move on. You got this one right here. President Trump and Xi, and it's 100, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me do this. And the timestamp is 100 again, okay? But one thing I do want to show you. Let me find it real quick, and then I'll go to it and pull it up on my screen. I'll just tell you. You know, President Trump and Xi shaking hands, and it's like they've been big buddies for a long time, okay? What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? What does a cult represent? What does spirit cooking represent? You have more than you know, Q. See, again, they're shaking hands. What a difference. Biden turned his back on China. Okay. Trump shaking hand in hand. Let me check my pill chat, guys, on my phone because my phone went dark. Again, guys, the reason I don't have my pill chat up. Guys, thank you so much here. Prairie Fire over there. Ron Witt over there. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Average Joe Patriot gifting the shades. Calm before the storm. Thank you very much, sir. I was just kind of going through those to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I did miss something. So thank you guys so much for everything. All right. So let's check the timestamp on this guy, okay, guys? So we got a different timestamp. He come in 7 minutes later on this one, so it's going to be 1:07. Okay. So we're going to check two posts. So we're going to check 1:07. And you know what we probably need to do? We need to check 1300 as well for these previous posts. So let's do that real quick. Let's check 1300, you know, because one converts over to 1300 in military time, okay? So there is a link here to the U.S. Embassy Jordan. So QAG, see, this is why I use QAG, people, is because Q Alerts does not save any of these links, okay? The QAG does. So thank you. I almost said his name. I do know QAG. I do know his name, but he doesn't want anybody knowing his name. But let's see here. All right, this was a tweet by the U.S. Embassy Jordan. Welcome to Jordan, Secretary of, I can't read that, and State Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And it's got Mike Pompeo coming off of the plane right there. So, I don't know if that's relevant or not, guys. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. So let's go check out. Remember, I said this 12:07 my time, so it's actually 1:07. So we're going to check out 1:07 and we're going to check out 13:07 on this post. Okay, so let's go back to QAG. Huh. You know, I'm just saying that post we just looked at with Mike Pompeo, it might be relevant. Here's post 13:07. This was military time. Knowing what you know now, RE Israel disclosure moments ago. Authentic. Why is Secretary of State there? Why is the EU and others pressing to remain in the deal? It's talking about the Iran deal. Okay? Again, we're hammering away at these Iran comms. Okay? Yeah, Pompeo called out The China sympathizing governors. That's right. And that was Average Joe Patriot. Think logically. France and Germany came to the White House. We just went over this people. France and Germany came to the White House for the sole purpose of pressing POTUS to remain in the deal. 5% shared. What that means is they were going to get a cut of it, a cut of the Iran deal. POTUS D-class, Syria plus Iran plus uranium-1 connection. Where does the EU fit in? Sick Q. So we're going to look at 107. Okay, we're getting biblical again here, guys. Code. May God also grant us the wisdom to ask what concrete steps we can take to reduce the violence and weaponry in our midst. You remember we were talking about all of these riots and stuff like that, okay, in these past posts that we just built off of, guys. When he is hammering away at post, start at the bottom and work your way back up to what he's doing. He's trying to tell you a story, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, they're really trying to get your attention.
What's going on?
48. They want you to look at 48. It's the mirror or something of what you were doing, but I've had multiple people tell me.
Okay, 48. So what post was that to?
48 was the. I don't know. Did you look at 84? Wouldn't that be the mirror?
I didn't see any columns to 48 or 84.
But I don't know. You have to.
Okay, well, let's look at 48 post. It's good. Guys, I'm sorry. And again, because I'm looking over at this screen over here, and my chat is all the way over here. So I am so sorry. So Tracy T, have Josh check 48. Okay, so Curtius Maximus said that. So as requested, let's look at 48. Post 48. What is Q clearance? What hint does that explicitly refer to? DOE. Who would have the goods on uranium-1? The Department of Energy would. Does stating Q refer that person's works in the DOE? No. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? May 2010, Barack Obama. Russia should be viewed as a friendly partner under Section 123 of the Atomic Energy Act of 1954 after agreeing to a new nuclear weapons reduction deal and helping the U.S. with Iran. Who is the enemy? What is being continually stated by all D's? Russia is what? An enemy? Because everybody's like, oh, Russia's bad. Remember that? We've learned that in school. Oh, the Russians are bad. Okay. What did the Russia reset really provide? Clearance pathway to complete the uranium-1 deal. Guys, we've done a dig on uranium-1. Guys, it started way back when, in 2005, with Bill Clinton in Arkansas. You'll have to go back and watch that whole dig on that. But uranium-1 was a multi-year plan by them. It started with Bill Clinton in Arkansas in 2005 when he was governor. Or actually, well, when they were governor over in Arkansas is when all of this started, people. All of this is coming to a head now because why? Because when Iran bends the knee and they finally give in to our demands and we get the nuclear dust, if you don't know this, nuclear material is always cataloged. Always. So you can tell where it came from at its point of origin. What is it going to point to? Uranium-1 is what it's going to point to. When did Q come online? 2017. Why did Q come online? To wake us up, to get us out of the matrix, to start asking questions. Why did Q use Q? Hint back to Department of Energy? Hint back to uranium-1? Was uranium-1 always the target? It's all over the drops. Is that how that we are going to nail the deep state? Uranium-1 is key. Now, let me keep reading this. Now I see why they come to post 48. Everybody's like, oh, look at post 48 because it's coming. I see it now, guys. Clearance pathway to complete the uranium-1 deal. Why is the Canadian PM, Prime Minister, so important? They never thought she was going to lose. The calm before the storm. You'll see why everybody's wanting to put. When I get a little bit further on down the line, you're going to see why here in just a second. Everybody's like screaming post 48. Okay. I see now, guys. Thank you, Courteous. I appreciate that. I don't know who originally called that out, but thank you. Okay. So the mirror to post 48 is 84. Yeah, not just that Hillary approved it. Yeah, that's right. Freedom Fire. Post 84, please add crumbs above in the new complete graphic. Okay, so when Q is talking about the graphic, they're talking about the first 124 posts, the map. Okay, so that's what. Please add the crumbs above in the new complete graphic. Okay, organized and in order. It was important. What is a map? What is a key? What is a legend? Okay, staff goes over all that stuff. Critical for understanding and review. Spiderweb, Hillary in Saudi Arabia, Alice in Wonderland, see above. This is staged and deliberate. Snow White, Godfather 3, Q. Okay, so remember, in POTUS's first term, we cut the strings from Saudi Arabia. Hillary was on her own. So let's go back to True Social here. Did we look at post 1307? I've lost my place here, guys. Yes, we did. Did we look at post 107? Okay, so let's go back. Remember the timestamp of this post we were just going over. Post 107, code, may God also grant us all the wisdom to ask what concrete steps we can take in order to reduce the violence and weaponry in our midst. Note when we just sent the go orders and when this tweet went live. Coincidence? Pray, Q. Interesting. POTUS has been common, to possible uprisings or whatever, because we know that's what they're going to do from post 34. That's what they're going to do when all the flood of information comes out. They're going to try to cause mass chaos and mass riots. Man, you guys are all over this Arkansas connection. Good deal. Awesome, guys. All right, so let's go back. Let me get my pill chat pulled back up. All right. So let's move on. All right, so here, I did a decode on this already today. And Steve seems to think it says Obama in this. So let's listen closely to this, okay? And let's take note. It's a 141 timestamp. So 141. So it's going to be 1341. Okay. And we've also got a 5-second video. I'll say because we're going to check that out. And we're going to look at let's just go ahead and look at the mirror of 1341, which is going to be 1431. And the mirror there, well, 141 mirror is 141. So, okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's watch this video.
Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire, boom.
Do weapons, okay? And it's firing on a drone. Let's watch it one more time. Let's see if we can make out what POTUS is saying. Is he saying ba, or is he saying Obama? Steve thinks that he's saying Obama. So let's listen one more time.
Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire, boom. Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire, boom.
Huh. All right, so let's take a look. Let's go to QAG. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he's saying Obama, or is he saying ba? Hey, knock my socks off over there on Peeled. Glenn Huggins, hello, sir, over there in YouTube. And I think everybody's over in Rumble because my ex-chat, Adriana Green. Hi, Steph, Texas, Mile High Deplorable. I love Mile High Deplorable. Thank you for coming in. Freedom Fire. And guys, I am like so far behind in the in the Rumble chat. So hello, everyone. I am glad that you joined us. So tell me what it sounds like. Debbie V says it sounds like Obama. Tara says, ba. Okay. Let's see who else. Yeah, I don't think he's saying Obama. Let's listen to it one more time, okay?
Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire, boom.
Okay. So let's go through these posts, okay? So let's look up 141 because the timestamp is 141 Eastern. Okay, so post 141 is rogue operators are here.
Your friends are dropping me.
Why? That's Tracy, by the way.
Yeah, it says, message Josh and tell him. They said Freedom says it's Canada, not Arkansas.
No, but Freedom, I know you're saying Canada, but if you remember, we did a dig, and Bill Clinton was making nuclear deals as governor of Arkansas when he was governor. And then it went to Canada. I get that. I understand that. But it goes so far back to Bill Clinton first, though. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, post 141. Rogue operators are here. Failed to shut down site protected. This will only get worse. Archive and coordinate. Crumbs dropped will soon paint the full picture. The picture will open the eyes of the world. We can't do it without you. God bless you all. Q. What did we just talk about? Staying on mission, using relevant facts. We can't do it without you. Freedom, we're going to have to do a show on Uranium One. I think that's what we need to do. We need to do something about Uranium One so we can kind of educate some people. The picture will open the eyes of the world. Crumbs dropped will soon paint the full picture. Archive and coordinate. This will only get worse. $13.41. Yeah, okay, so she said, yeah, that's why Obama was just there. Freedom Fire said Obama was just in Canada, with John Podesta and the whole gang up there meeting with the Canadian PM. Over, guess what? Uranium One. All right, so post 1341. And we're going to take a look at a couple of keywords in this too, okay? We've all been blinded for too long. Alex Jones is not alt media. He is a traitor. He makes us all look crazy. F him. It says time to move on. Big week ahead. Q. All right, so we've also got a 5-second video, so let's watch, or let's look at post 5. This is true. Follow the money. It's the key. What is Pelosi's net worth? By way of one example, why coincidentally is her memory apparently going? Cover for possible future indictment to plead what? What if John M. never had surgery? And that's John McCain, no name. Okay. What if John M. never had surgery and that was a cover for a future out if needed against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer his bulk public funds to a nonprofit? Note, this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pulled by several higher ups. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with a Canadian PM? What now?
No, nothing. Did you know that Trump was announced he was having a speech tonight?
No.
Making an announcement tonight?
No.
At 9. And Tara was asking if we were going to be streaming it. And
Oh.
I said, heck yeah, we will.
Okay, I guess we're streaming tonight at 9
But
o'clock
you need to make
Eastern.
a post announcing it.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I will. Okay, let's back up. This is important, guys. Let's back up before Tracy come in here, okay? Why did Soros' son have several meetings with the Canadian Prime Minister, and how is that related to the Clintons? Just what Freedom Fire was talking about. Uranium One. What just occurred this weekend? Alex Soros and the Canadian Prime Minister Barack Obama, John Podesta, all up there in Canada while POTUS is across seas at China making tremendous deals. Future proves past. Can you rely on being able to board a plane and fly away? Why is MS-13 such a priority? Nobody got this. Could people pay such gains to kill opponents? And why? How insulate against exposure? Think. I'm drawing a blank now. I'll come to it here in just a second. I can't believe I'm having a mind blank here on this. The truth is mind-blowing and cannot be fully exposed. Also, many are thinking from one point of view, U.S. only. The evil is embedded globally. U.S. is the first domino. Have faith. Here, it just came back to me. I'm sorry, guys. Seth Rich was murdered by 2 MS-13 gang members. If you didn't know that. Like, for real, Freedom, we're probably going to need to do a show on Uranium One. We probably are. Because it is so important to everything that's going on right now. It's just so important. Okay, so we looked at post 5. We looked at 1341. We looked at 141. Now we're going to go to some keywords off of this post. So what do you see?
Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire. Boom.
Fire. Fire. Boom. Let's go back to QAG. Q post 2189. Attention on deck. What was that a picture of just now where that laser was coming out? It was a naval destroyer. Attention on deck. Memes at the ready. Lock on target. What was POTUS doing with that? He was locking on target and firing. So Joe says 947. So we'll take a look at 947 here in a little bit. Attention on deck. Memes at the ready. Lock on target. Fire at will. Q post 2570. Now that Russia collusion is proven a lie, when do the trials for treason begin? Thank you, Patriot. Fire at will. Q. Now, this is going to be important too, post 3173, because we're going to come again to this one just later on down the road right here, okay, guys? If you've been looking at his True Social, you'll know what's coming up, and you're going to be like, holy crap. Okay, Q post 3173, Nanon says, all of us has been antsy for the hammer to drop. Do you remember the comm from a couple of days ago that Dan Scavino put out about Queen, the Hammer song? Do you remember that, guys? Like I said, all these comms build off one another. You have to be in this stuff every day to like, oh, shoot, you remember that? All of us have been antsy for the hammer to drop. But we will remember this time, the time before we knew the next big scene. This is historic. Q responds with the calm before the storm. What happens when a blockade threat is dismantled and removed? What are we doing right now, guys? We've got a blockade out there on Iran. You'll find out. Children used as shields, manufactured crimes of perjury. Fire at will, Commander. Q. Think back to the China trip. Again, we're talking about the children again. Remember when I told you, remember the children? Remember that. This is where it comes into. What did POTUS say? The children represent so much. The news represent, it's just, all this stuff is coming together now. Okay, so Joe told me to check out post 947. So let's go to 947. Post 947, Iran next. Retweet days after retweet Kenya. No coincidences. Track. Important. Muslim Brotherhood. Boom. Q. Okay, again, we're tracking Obama's movements right now. He was just meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister with all the bad actors. No coincidences. Track. Important. Muslim Brotherhood. Boom. Q. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat, what you guys are trying to direct me to. Yeah, Yeet Fort says Uranium One is a vital part of all of this. Guys, if you don't know what the Uranium One scandal is, we might need to do a history lesson. I've already got a show lined up for Thursday, so I can't do it then. I've already got a prior commitment. Yeah, it's all about saving the children, the diamonds. Annie Oakley said that over there on X. Or I'm sorry, on Rumble. So Joe, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. This ties directly into what we're talking about. All right, so let's go back to that, okay? So remember, we just watched that. Okay, so we've got Trump and Z walking together with a timestamp of 4:01, which is going to be 16:01 military time. There's not a whole lot to go off on here, okay? So we're just going to take a look at those quick, too. 4:01. Test Q. Huh. Let's look at the military timestamp, 16:01. Okay, do you remember, Laddie Addy, thank you so much for that $10 Rumble rant. Look into Chester Hammer Kane in Top Gun. Thank me later. Huh. Let me write that down real quick. Chester Hammer Kane. Okay, in Top Gun. Okay, I will do it. 1601, fist pumps RE POTUS Q encounter. Remember what we were talking about just a little bit ago with POTUS with his fist up? Keep up the good fight, Patriot. This will be a very common theme known only to you. Feel proud winning. Where we go one, we go all. Yeah, I remember the Great Awakening Reddit was banned. So we can't, that's what it comes to right there. So we can't go to that. So we're going to move on to the POTUS's next one. Okay. So we've got POTUS and Z walking through an archway right here. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. We've got POTUS and Z walking through an archway right here. So we're going to go. Let's check out the timestamp. It's the same timestamp at 1601 and 401. So, So we're going to move on to the next one. So there's a lot. All right. So this one right here, you've got POTUS standing in a command center, and it looks like that missiles are launching, firing off. Okay. So let's take a look at this one, Space Force. So again, it's 301, which would be 401, 1601. So he was rifling these off. Anybody got any ideas on this one in the chat? I think he's firing at will right now. All right, let's keep going. Now here's the big one, guys. It was the calm before the storm. Attention on deck. Fire at will. There's an admiral right here. And it says Trump. If you can't read that right there, it says Trump, Commander in Chief. The timestamp is 403. So we're going to check out 403 and 1603. And we're also going to check out calm before. I'm writing this down so I don't forget it. Storm. Okay. So let's go to QAG. 403. This is an 8chan link here. I think I looked this one up earlier. Let me get to it, then I'll switch my screen, guys. Well, it's not wanting to pull up. So let's go check out 1603. All right, guys, here we go. Buckle in. Post 1603. It's quoted off post 1602. Post 1602 says, if you continue to proceed down this dangerous path, only know that we are prepared. You should know this based on earlier drops, re Saudi Arabia, National Guard, military assets activate U.S. soil. The game is over when the public knows. What are we talking about, guys? We're talking about D-class. The fight to keep the lights off is all that matters to you. Distractions. Look here, not there. You will fail. The American people are awake. You lost control. Sheep no more. You underestimated their resolve and their ability to free think away from the pipeline narrative. We will declass. We will shine light. There is nowhere to hide. The amount of money, influence, or power can't stop this. Our rights to secure and protect all cost then will be justified. We stand at the ready. Red wave. What has AJP been talking about over and over and over and over? We're going to have our red wave this year. White squall. In God we trust, Q. And here was Q's response to its own post. Hold on just one second, guys. I'm checking my text messages. Okay. If you are smart stupid, you know that what just occurred in the meeting with Russia. Attempts to frame Russia POTUS optics are failing and will soon be exposed. Objective to keep POTUS away from Putin failed. Bolton plus Putin should scare you. Follow Bolton. There were some Bolton comms a couple of days ago. I'll have to go back and research that. Enemies are allies. Evil has no place here. America is no longer for sale. The age of taxing our citizens across the world while entry into our markets are free is over. Okay, guys, think tariffs. Q was talking about this ages ago. The world will unite in this cause. Good versus evil, R versus W. Forced immigration pushers will be exposed. The why. Read the Bible. God wins. Q. So that was post 1603. And we're going to search calm before the storm. Okay. Q post 4011. Crossfire hurricane, crossfire typhoon, crosswind, classification 1 through 99, unreleased, redacted. You didn't think that the statement by POTUS, RE, calm before the storm, what did he just do? Had a calm before the storm. Was just random, did you? Transparency brings accountability. So what is this post saying? Crossfire hurricane, it's coming. We're going to declass it. You didn't think the statement by POTUS, RE calm before the storm, was just random, did you? Guys, let's go back and check this out. It was the calm before the storm. Attention on deck means at the ready, fire at will. Okay, here's a double tap, Q3173. Again, the calm before the storm. What happens when a blockade threat is dismantled and removed? You'll find out. Children used as shields, manufactured crimes of perjury, fire at will, Commander. Q post 3581, calm before the storm, POTUS. Month day Q, public campaign started. Okay, you remember that? Do you remember what day? October 28th, 2017. On that day, what happened? POTUS was in the Oval Office. He's surrounded by all these military generals and says, do you know what this represents? Somebody said, what does this represent, sir? He said, look at all these fine people here. This is the calm before the storm. Month day Durham initiated. Same day. What famous crime family did Durham target? How did Durham target them? Let's go one step further. How did Durham target? RICO. RICO. RICO just hits different nowadays, don't you think, Curtius? Also, spearheaded mob prosecutions of the Gambino, Genovese, and Patriot crime families. What ABC agency did Durham target? How are messages sent? What if there's another prosecutor outside of D.C. assigned by Sessions with the same mandate authority? Q. Do you believe in coincidences? 5-5. Be ready, Patriots. Q. Post 55. Look to Twitter. Exactly this. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. God bless. So we already went over post 48. Post 38. And when we read this post, think about the pictures that POTUS is putting out. U.S. Navy, okay? 4 carriers and escort in the Pacific. Why is this relevant? To prevent other state actors from attempting to harm us during this transition. Russia, China, or conversely, all for North Korea, or all 3. Think logically about the timing of everything happening. Note increased military movement. Note National Guard deployments starting tomorrow. Note false flags. Follow Huma. Huma represents Barack Hussein Obama. Where was he at? Canada. Uranium One. The Canadian Prime Minister. All the bad actors. Prepare messages of reassurance based on what dropped here to spread on different platforms. The calm before the storm. Q post 2546. Okay, is the plot moving forward? I think we all understand the characters and conflicts at this point. Time for a plot twist? D-class finally? Okay, so let's think about what that Anon just said. Do we know all the players now? Are they out in the public now? John Brennan, James Comey, James Clapper. Has the story been retold by now? Does the public finally know who all the players are now? The President of the United States initiated and confirmed when the order he stated the calm before the storm. What did he just do? When was the statement made? When did Q go active? Watch the news. Watch FBI. Watch the DOJ. Q. Let's go back here. Guys, I could keep going and going and going and going. So we already looked through that one because he reposted. Reason this is showing up is because he reposted this, okay? The reflecting pool one again. He wants you to take a second look at it. He just reposted it about, I think, 30 minutes ago or so. So we already went through the columns on that one. If you missed it, rewind back to the first of the show. Okay, Make America Great Again. The timestamp is 4/13, so that's going to be 16/13. So let's take a look at this. Okay, Q quotes itself off post 1611. Sound familiar? Q. Sarah Carter was grilled by Peter Strzok and questioned by lawmakers. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were the FBI lovebirds. Remember that? That helped frame POTUS and Crossfire Hurricane. Goodlatte on Fox. FBI instructing Peter Strzok not to answer. Answers are a text, not believable. Sound familiar? Rest assured, justice will be served. Gammy, I saw the White House just posted a 007 post. Huh, interesting. So we're going to look at post 413. Track CEO resignations. Interesting. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to have to get off here soon, guys. I hate to tell you that. Oh, man. Let's keep going. So here is Donald Trump in China again. Same comm, 1613 on that. So we're going to keep moving. There's President Trump and Z. So he come in a minute later, 414, and that's going to be 1614. I'm sorry, 1614. Yeah, over on YouTube, Sacco said Huber incoming. I agree 100%. Okay, so this post, this was from a Trump rally. And before they started banning everybody at the Trump rallies from wearing Q shirts, okay? We see you, so many VIPs at the rally, Q. So let's look at post 414. Hope you enjoyed the Xmas decor. POTUS will verify direction to provide crumbs for authorization for dissemination. We are crushing these sick people. God bless Patriot Q. Remember we were talking about that it was calm too about dropping the crumbs. We're going to paint the picture for everybody. And this post just said, POTUS will verify direction to provide crumb authorization for dissemination. We are crushing these sick people. God bless Patriot Q. I want to say something real quick. I'm trying to frame this in a way that I'm not going to sound like a raving lunatic. So POTUS is calling to us that he's going to send down crumbs for us to disseminate. You can't participate in this military civilian operation if all you think you're doing is watching a movie. You have to be an active participant in this, or else this operation is not going to work. I've read the Bible. I know that God wins at the end, but we still have to have participation. If you're just sitting in the movie theater not participating, you're not helping POTUS. You're just making us all look crazy. You're in your little echo chamber and you think that this world is such a small place, but it's not. There's so many people that have not been awakened yet. And it's going to take stuff like this in us disseminating information to the regular public. That's what this whole operation is about, people. You know, Tracy and I were awakened. AJP was awakened a long time ago, to learn and absorb all of this information. So when it comes time like these, we know what's going on and we can help disseminate this information, but we can't do it without you. AJP can't do it by himself. I can't do it by myself. Steve can't do it by himself. Freedom Fire can't do it by herself. Tracy can't do it by herself. Truther Media has only got so much reach. We have big reach, but we only got so much. Julie can't even do it by herself. That's just what I'm saying is, let's get back in the fight. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to red pill people. You can't do it if you're sitting in the damn movie theater. All right, let's go back to True Social. Let's see what else he's got. I'm going on 2 hours, guys. She told me 1 hour. 1 hour. So that's the same 414. I'm looking at dark to light comms there. So this is interesting. Trump takes a dig at Thomas Massey and reposting that, this whole scandal going on with Thomas Massey. So it's a timestamp of 422. So 1622. Yeah, guys, if you don't know where to find all of our Truth or Media shows real quick, and just let me just show you this real quick, okay, guys? And I know we're in the middle of a dig, but I think it's important. So you just go to truthermedia.com. Okay. And let me share this tab. So you'll see our big thing pop up first there. Okay. So you're like, okay, so you're talking about Truth or Media. I get it. Okay. So this is what's coming up. Okay. We don't have any more shows later today, but we've got Real AF Talk coming up tomorrow night. Banger show. I suggest you check it out. But look, guys, look what you can do here. This has a whole interactive guide, and it's got all of our shows on it. Okay. So let's say you wanted to go check out Freedom Fire's last show, The Receipt Room. So you just go right here. You see it right here. You click on The Receipt Room, and look where it takes you. It takes you to Signal Over Noise, The Receipt Room. Or let's say you're like, oh, I want to watch. Whoop, I'm sorry, guys. I messed up my screen here. There we go. You're like, oh man, I want to check out Steve's show. So you just go right here and you click and you hit watch. And it's going to take you to his next scheduled show. And I don't know why that comes up as keeping it real. But you can go to his channel right here. He probably hasn't got his show card up for tomorrow, but that's okay though, because it gives you his whole entire channel right here when you click on it. Okay. So you can even go down to our channel guides down right here. If you go back to Truth or Media, you can go and see all of our channels that we have and when they come on and what's coming up, what's on live now, what's up next. I'm not showing up under now because this was unscheduled. But anyways, so let's go back to QAG. All right. So we're going to check out this Thomas Massey post that's 422, okay? So 422, let's see what Trump's trying to tell us here. Test 2. Q. I don't know if this will go back to the Chans or not. Let's check this out. All right, so there's Q's original post from the Chans, and let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, so if you ever wanted to see kind of the context, and you're like, what the heck was Q talking about back then? So this takes you back to the Chans, the original conversations that were going on, and Q posted test 2. And then Q follows up right there with test 3. Looks like a confirmation post. Happenings every day. This will be going on every day, dudes. Okay. Man, this Anon back in the day had it so right. It says, guys, stop trying to predict the future. This is a cipher. We keep asking Q if this or that is going to happen. That's not the point. The point is to get us to think, to read the stringer. Absolutely. So let's go back to QAG. So that was post 422. Let's pull up 1622 in relation to this Massey post. Q calmed. Are you ready? Q. What's interesting is it's saying Trump urges North Dakota fans to fire Senator whatever the name was at that point. And this, remember, this is a Thomas Massey post right here. Interesting. Let's keep going. I'm going to have to get off here in about 10 minutes, guys. So here's another Thomas Massey post, okay? And this was 423. So 1623, we'll check those out. Let's check out 1623. Trying to normalize who just joined the board of Netflix, who pushed what is coming. It's talking about Barack Obama back then. What is coming, Q? So 423. Test 3. Okay. Here's another Thomas Massey post. Same timestamp. Another Thomas Massey post. No, he's hammering Massey. 426 on this one. Just let the record show that Justice Cometh told you all a year ago that Thomas Massey was not your friend. But everybody kept saying, oh, he fights for the people, Josh. He fights for the people. He tells the truth. Well, we dug into his finances, and Massey is not a good person. He works with the Muslim Brotherhood. Oh, did you know that? You didn't know that? You might want to go research that. So let the record reflect Justice Cometh was right again about one of these people that everybody kept hammering on me. Oh, Massey's good. Yeah, y'all didn't dig hard enough. That's why. I'm not trying. I'm talking about other Anons. I'm not talking about the people in this chat and everything like that. I'm talking about people within my own Anon community slamming me for that. Who has the last laugh now? Anyways, so 426, 1626. So let's take a look at this. More North Korea, and let's see here. Let's just read it. Post 426. How did North Korea suddenly have miniaturized nukes upon POTUS taking office? Because you remember back in the day in 2014, 15, Obama said, oh, Iran and all of them and North Korea, they're not even close to having nuclear weapons. But then when POTUS takes the stage, all of a sudden North Korea's got miniature nuclear warheads pointed at the United States. Ask yourself how that's possible. What is leverage? Define leverage, their last hope. Q. Now remember, we're still talking about Thomas Massey here. What is leverage? Define hostage, their last hope. I don't believe that Thomas Massey is good at all. Post 1626. Democratic senators who demanded today that Julian Assange asylum be revoked in violation of international law. Remember them. Robert Menendez, Richard Durbin, Edward Markley, Richard Blumenthal, and Joe Manchin. Okay. And let's see here. Dianne Feinstein, Mark Warner, and Janine Shaheen. All of those people we know are not good. Server or Julian Assange equals truth exposed Seth Rich. We're coming in June. Remember, what is the ETA on Julian Assange and Seth Rich? June. Server or Julian Assange, truth exposed Seth Rich. D's are in crisis mode. A1 is bigger than you can imagine. Putin/Uranium One will come out post-summit. Okay, let's pump the brakes. What did POTUS say the other day and Vladimir Putin say the other day? They are ready to make peace with Ukraine. Putin Uranium 1 will come out post-summit. They will try to apply artificial MSM heat to cancel. So let's remember that. Because maybe they're going to have a summit pretty soon and get this whole thing put to bed with Ukraine. We know that funding to Ukraine is not going over there past this year. They've already nixed it. It's gone. Okay? These people are corrupt beyond belief. America for sale. Sold out. Q. Remember, we're still talking about Thomas Massey here. POTUS is telling you he's not a good dude. So why are you defending him? All right, let's keep going. Got a couple more in me. President Trump ages in reverse. So that's going to be the same. Is that the same timestamp? No. I've got so many notes on here. Let's see. 4/26, 16/26. And I don't know about keywords on that one. All right. 4/26. Yeah, we just went over that. So let's move on, okay? So again, it says sample test of the reflecting pool with Lincoln Memorial, Washington Monument in the background at each end of the pool, which, by the way, is the world's longest, looking really good, should be completed before 4th of July. Our target date has substantially upgraded construction materials, included surface qualities, sandblasting granite, and exterior stone and walkways. I made this such a larger job than originally completed for purposes of beauty and much more longer life. Also went to a higher quality sealer with more reflectivity. Check it out before the opening. It's a very exciting project. Donald J. Trump. Okay, so we've got a timestamp of, you know what, guys? I haven't been adding some time onto here. 5:40. So that's going to be 17:40. Okay. Take a look. 5:40. Post 5:40. Are you following the news today? What a big news day. These people are really stupid. This will be the end of the D Party. This is the path forward with public outrage to jail so many called untouchables. You, the people, have the power. Down she goes. Q. That was post 5:40. 17:40. Device test C. I'm one of these people. I think Q will return. Q owes us a Q&A, by the way, if you didn't know. Oh, let's look at some mirrors. So the mirror to post will be 471 and 45. Josh, do you think Sessions is involved anymore in what is playing out? I think him personally, he's not involved anymore, but the information that is going to be coming out, he was involved in. All right, so let's look at post 471. It was a mirror, remember? We're talking about the reflecting pool again. This was post 471. This is from the board owner. BO also represents board owner. HN. Not Q. Q's second trip has been cracked as I thought it might be. And then Q responded false. Did they get to you? Board compromised Q. And that was from the board owner. So drop 45. Okay, this is a big one. Again, follow Huma, Barack Obama. What just broke with Huma? Why did Hillary Rodham Clinton instruct Huma to do RE classified markings? Why is the story just now coming out? What relevance does it have? Why is Donna running for cover? It's called Donna. That was Donna Brazil. Remember, she leaked all the questions and everything to the DNC and all that about the debate. You remember that? What deal was granted in exchange for something? Who made the deal? Do we care about Donna or those who instructed her to violate the law? Why is this being leaked? Or leaked versus simply prosecuted privately? Who is attempting to change the narrative to soften the acts that are forthcoming this weekend? That was post 45. So let's move on to one more. So we got red carpet right here. I'm trying to look for a juicy one right here. My gosh, guys, he is going off. Wow, he's still going, guys. So I think I'm going to end it there. So we all know Abby Blue Eyes. What he's Trump truthed you. Trump didn't truth me, did he? Let me let me go back here. Maybe I missed something. Abby, are you talking about me or are you talking about something else? Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what Abby's talking about in the chat. I don't see where he truthed me. Just going back through here. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Maybe we all missed something. Abby, can you tell me who you're talking about that Trump truthed? I'm going back. I'm just looking. Because there was a lot I didn't cover. Fox News. They didn't re-truth me. If he did, I missed it. Oh yeah, that when he retruthed my card memes. Okay. Yeah, if you're just watching me for the first time, that was my meme. That went completely. I guess you must have just posted the meme he did right after. My bad. Okay, I was fixing to freak out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Trump retruthed me." But okay, guys, we're going to end it with that. You know, you can see the methodology that I use and picking up keywords and telling the story. Okay, he's still out there truthing. Unfortunately, I only have so much time in the day, so we're going to end it here. Guys, thank you for joining me today. I just thought it was kind of cool of how POTUS is kind of painting the picture with the drops and the timestamps and things like that. So thank you for joining me. And guys, real quick, if you want to help support me, go check out my sponsor, justiceshrooms.com and justicepetclub.com. So, you know, if you want to support us, that's a great way to do it and to get your body back in balance and your pet's body back in balance, because we know that all these dog foods and cat foods out there are absolute garbage for our pets. And we know all these foods that we take in are absolute garbage for us. So The justice shrooms is a way to get your body back in balance on everything. All right, guys, I'm going to end it with that, and I'm going to close this out in prayer. Lord, I come to you in Jesus' name, Lord. Hallowed be thy name, Lord. Lord, we see your plan going into motion right now. We see the years and years and years and years of you pointing us into the right directions are paying off now. And Lord, we see your grand plan unfolding in front of us with Trump as your tool, Lord. But we ask you, Lord, that you help guide us even further and remove the scales from the eyes of the unawake, Lord. And to give us the tools that we need and the knowledge and the wisdom that we need to help you carry out this mission, Lord, that you've set before us. But we also can't lose sight of the fact that you sent your son to die on the cross for all of our sins, Lord. And that is the main mission, is to win souls to you, Lord, through Jesus. And I thank you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys, it was great. I hope you got something out of it. If you liked it, share my show out there. We will return Monday at 8 a.m. with Dawning Justice. And if you want to see how to watch that show, you can go to two places. We already went over truthermedia.com. You can also go to tracingjustice.com because we have our own little mini show guide there as well with all of our links. And if you like the show and you want to help us stay on mission, we also have all of our giving links in the header there. Now that it's very easy that if you don't want to give to Rumble, taking a cut of everything, and you just kind of want to help us out a little bit here and there, you can go to tracingjustice.com and click how to give. So again, thank you guys. And I assume my lovely wife is telling me that we are streaming at 9 p.m. tonight Eastern. So for Trump's big announcement, so we'll see what's going on with that. And I guess I will see you guys here in a little bit. And remember, if I don't see you before then, let's make fishers of men. Let's go save some souls. And let's go save the Republic. I'll see you guys later.
You thought you could bury me. Thought the dark would close in. You were wrong. You don't know who I am, and you never will. You drew the line in the dirt and flame. They said I'd break, said I'd shame. Whispered threats through a locked back door, but I've heard sound before. You pushed and pulled, tried to crack my back, but I don't collapse like that. I don't run, I don't bend, I don't bow to fear of men. When the dust clears, you'll see you never buried me. We're not backing down, we're holding the line. Truth will be heard, not just whispered in time. You can't stop this, we will not fall. When justice rises, it answers the call. You thought you knew what I stood on, but this ground's been here too long. Stealing the blood, fire and breath. I don't scare easy at talk of death. You don't know the weight I carry, or the hand that stands behind me. You can shout, you can lie, try to crucify, but chains you swing and stones you throw only make the pressure grow. We're not You don't know who I am. I don't stand alone. God holds my sword of truth.